just really low. Wind Blade will finish him up. He gets Seahawk over the wall with the Guardian Wing. And the focus of Aslan. Grand Challenge is up. Aslan will not last long. There's a flash from Excavate now. And now a continuous fails. The UNOR University still got the drink. And here comes the fight. One time is on. Look at the stupidity and strategy on the strategy of the fight.
Flash away as Arc goes for the back line. Condenser standing on the run of the equalizer. Gets equalized indeed. Will keep waiting.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. You are watching the Lenovo Law Collegiate League 2017 Spring Term Interconference Series, and we are getting into our second day for Group B. Of course, we'll be your shoutcasters. I am Atlas, and with me is Vulcan.
So, good afternoon to everyone who are excited for will be the last day of the Group B, and we'll be deciding the top 4 teams who will be moving on to the next stage of the LCL.
Seems like this is going to be one of the bloodier groups, actually, because last week, almost all of the games from Group B were 1-1s, with only one 2-0 happening, which was from MCL. We're going to see now if the other teams can catch up, and they have really good potential to do so.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing some teams who we are expecting to perform really well, but in the end, it's the opposite. Sometimes we see the first seed being overthrown by some lower seeds. So right now in the Group B, this is going to be one of the most fighter-death scenario where they will have to fight for their spot in moving on. So right now, going on to the schedule.
Seems like first game will be actually UNOR Rams versus Adamson Penguin Authority. This is going to have 2 games, of course. All of these games are best of 2s. If it's a 2-0, the team will get 3 points into the semifinals. But if only it's a 1-1, both teams get 1 point. So that 2 wins is actually so much value, and every team wants to get that much of a lead, especially in the group that this close.
Yeah, and the first game would be UNOR versus the Rams. I mean, what can you say about these teams, Atlas? I mean, we've seen that UNOR, in my perspective, I've seen they play very much of a late game oriented play style where it doesn't fit too well in the current patch, where the game has been sped up gradually.
Yeah, UNOR Rams, their usual playstyle is that they wait until it's like 25-24 minutes to start team fighting. Their pocket picks actually mirror that. Exidia has played a lot of Anivia actually throughout his career, so you might be seeing that, and that's actually just a testament to how slow they play. They play a control playstyle, and when it comes to 25, that's when they start roaming as a team. On the side of Adamson University, Penguin Authority, they have a much more well-balanced style of play. They have been this school has been in the LCL very strong for a long time, so we're going to see if that experience actually culminates to something, getting out of group stages for the Interconference Series.
Yeah, and we'll be expecting some bans coming in from UNOR against the captain of ADU, which would be, let's say, a mid laner, whereas I think for UNOR it would be more on the jungler who's the captain there. So this is going to be a very interesting drafting phase where we're going to see how the teams are going to focus ban, or how they should draft their team in a way that it complements the shot callers.
Seems like Jissy just getting banned out here. The Vladimir, the Ari, and the Oriana all banned against him, so that's a lot of damage and utility taken away from Adamson. On the side of ADU, their bans are top lane, focused with a single jungle ban against Santi. Elise is one of the high-pressure junglers. Santi, as the captain, will have a lot of time to plan and spin his web if he has at the least that will be taken away from him, but he will be picking up that Ivern.
That would be, I'm not sure how the Ivern will perform in this current patch of the 7.10.
It is a lot more costly for him to continue farming his jungle in terms of health and mana.
In a way that he can't keep ganking repeatedly that we see in how other Iverns play.
Because his health will be much lower and it's much more dangerous to gank. So top lane here, Excavi will have his Kled and his Darius banned out. I'm not exactly agreeing with the bans here, because these two are champions that are so easily countered, but Adamson, if it seems like one of their last games, Kled was such a problem for them. The Kled getting ahead just ran them all over, and the Darius as well has a similar kind of snowball potential as that Kled.
So in a way that you're saying that UNOR, they have a bad time dealing with champions. When they snowball, they are out of control. So it just goes to show how UNOR is really playing the late game. Whereas ADU, they want to play the early phase of the game as much to their favor in a way that they can transition out to the late and the mid to the late game, and they have complete control.
Seems like ADU are going for that. Lots of early game pressure with the Lee Sin and the Karma, and banking on that early game to transition well into the mid game and late game. We're going to see how the rest of their composition plays out. On the side of UNOR, going with that Ivern, lots of shields for Legend Darhin here on that Lucian.
We're going to be expecting this UNOR going for the, not the, remember the shielding the Kog'Maw strategy. This time it's not more Kog'Maw, but it's more of a Lucian where...
Something more reliable.
Something more reliable, something more constant, and not much of a high risk.
Yeah, someone that actually has a laning phase. Lucian combined with that Lulu will actually be very potent there in the bot lane. Can match the Ashe Karma combination that will be coming from Adamson. Plus, come mid game, come late game, when the resource cost of Ivern is actually doesn't matter anymore, the shields will be phenomenal on Legend Darhin, especially since he's a 500 range 80 carry on that Lucian. All the shields will be much more valuable.
Not to mention, more not just the shield, it's more of the kiting.
The kiting as
well. From the Lulu and from the Ivern. But right now, going on to the second banning phase would be UNOR opening up with the Renekton. Now we'll be seeing top lanes being the focus ban here because we have yet to see both teams lock in their more of a game-changing top laner. Right now, the attack meta has been buffed due to the items. But note that the new champions, let's say the rework, Sejuani, Maokai,
they have been nerfed,
Zac,
but they are available for play. They are still potent in what they can do. Sejuani though, he is nerfed. She is nerfed, but I think she's still very strong and how he can just point and click permafrost. We're gonna see if it's gonna pop out here, but it seems like the Rumble and Renekton will be the focus for UNOR. On the other hand, Adams University, the tank Fizz top has been nerfed heavily in terms of scaling, so he needs to build actually more AP to be relevant as a damage carry, and also banning out Exidious Victor, which is Jissy does not want to face up against Victor most likely, because a lot of these mid laners from are banned by UNOR. What Jissy might want to play does not want to face up against Exidious Victor.
And not to mention, we've seen some of the pocket picks from UNOR, which could be the not so of an iconic Anivia, but we've seen Anivia in the games of UNOR where they play so much around it that they bring it up to the 20-minute mark. That's the time they start their rotations, but I think by that time, it's a bit too late for them to even make those plays. But right now, we're going to be seeing the Anivia mid again for UNOR.
So this is actually, most of their damage will come from the Lucian and the Anivia. A little bit slow to rev up, considering it is Anivia. So, but we're gonna see if the utility coming from Lulu and Ivern will be enough to make them survive through the early game, considering that Jissy will be going on that Syndra, very potent mid laner. We're gonna see if all the shields and health boosts coming from Santi and Frost will actually be enough to mitigate that unleashed power. Trundle in the top lane. The Nautilus picked against that. They might have trouble in lane, but seems like UNOR, as I said, they're going for a slow game. So maybe the laning doesn't matter as much to them as the synergy when it comes to the actual team fights. We're gonna see if they will last though, because that has been a problem for them. Sometimes they play too slow and the other team just completely outpaces them.
Too slow would be not the right word for, maybe too safe. Very conservative in a way. But not to mention, they are having the Ivern jungler against the Lee Sin. Lee Sin and Ivern both been heavily nerfed. The Darren Ray's cooldown has been increased in a way that the Lee Sin cannot keep going back and forth. Like, let's say, we've seen Lee Sin's making 3 rotations and 3 times gank, relentless ganks, but right now we might be seeing a different playstyle from the both teams.
Yeah, I think the Ivern nerf had a lot more impact. It is his clearing affected, which affects his ganking, because if you have no health, you can't really gank unless you want to give a free kill. On the other hand, Lee Sin can still do a lot of those rotations. If he makes a gank and makes it count, it will be very effective. He just can't have it as frequently. Well, the only thing to change about him is the Dragon's Rage cooldown. It's 10 seconds. So let's say every 2 minutes, from 100 seconds to 110 seconds at the first level. So considering everything plus Warrior, CDR, we're going to say that his ganks, the frequency of his Dragon's Rage potency is like building up to 30-second gap in total. So it's not that huge compared to Ivern not being able to gank at all because of having no health.
And let's see, going on to the first game of match 1 between UNOR versus Adamson University. Let's see how the both teams will play out in the first game of match 1. This will be the last day for the Group B. So, they cannot cut corners and no room for really crucial mistakes and amateurs.
This is really going to filter out the teams coming to semifinals. And considering the state of the standings, now most of these teams are 1-1. MCL so far, because they had 2 matches last time, they were able to get a 2-0. So the thing to beat here is that these teams need to tie that or surpass it. So UNOR, since they have 2 matches today, they will want 2 2-0s.
Yeah, to really guarantee that spot. And going on to the matchup, I mean, Exidia against Jissy. I'm not pretty sure Exidia will have a really fun time, knowing that Syndra kind of in a way controls how Anivia can use the ultimate. I mean, if you get targeted by a CC, the Anivias will get cancelled, the radius will be gone in a way, but that gives that small window for Syndra to unleash the power, I mean.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a problem if left unchecked. Interestingly, UNOR having 2 teleports means that they have a lot more potential to respond. Exidia will also be able to just come back to lane if he gets poked out by Jissy. But coming into early game, it's going to be Jissy with a lot more kill potential.
And it will have to be on to Orf for GC to snowball, knowing that Anivia has not much utility. Anivia does not have much mobility in a way of escaping.
Santi going for the invade here with a smite.
Yes, spotted out.
Yeah, he did get spotted out by the ward. So here it's going to be Orf knowing exactly where Santi is. And because of the time, Santi going for the early level 2 gank. It should be Xcavi expecting, or rather it should be Dazai expecting this.
Dazai, not yet level 2. Knowing that Xcavi does have the Drench line. This is more of a visit, but I think that was a mistake for Santi. I mean, showing his location.
Yeah, but shielding, that's not really something, it's not very impactful at all, but it does give UNOR, rather ADU, a lot of information.
But funny fact is that Orf is not even countering Santi in a way that to get his red buff.
Seems like he's just chilling for now, going for a full clear of his bot side, but seems like after this he will transition to the red side.
A bit too late in my opinion. I think Santi will have enough time to gank and he's in counter jungle even more.
We're going to see how all that plays out. Orf might be going for a gank here.
Here comes Exidia, does have to flash up, but a bit too far in. But here comes Santi for the respawn. Exidia does have the passive. So it would be more of a trade-off, except Jissy might just spark the passive, and there it is in egg form, but there will be no follow-up. That would be a passive burn, and I think that was set up for Jissy.
The passive being burnt here, the cooldown is pretty long, so it might actually be possible for Jissy to reach level 6, considering this is a solo lane, and then take him out before the passive actually. Or trying to go for a fight here.
Taking a fight with Ivern.
Jissy
stunning Santi off, forcing out his flash. Exidia does not have the flash to follow it up, but I think it's very rewarding for Adu. Burning the passive of Exidia and the Summoner spell makes it easier for Orf to rotate back into the mid lane.
But the thing is though that Jissy had to respond to Santi harassing Orf in his jungle. And Orf being wailed on by those raptors has actually a lot of hurt, and Jissy having to use his flash there might take a chunk out of his kill potential and his safety in lane.
Yeah, not to mention, he didn't even go for the red buff of Santi. I don't understand why you don't go for a steal, whereas Santi just completely took away Orf's.
I think he was first trying to go for that rotation, but then Jissy and Exidia got into a little fight. So what happened there was he had to respond, but it wasn't really that worth it in the end. He should have just gotten the red buff.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, but we gotta expect that Orf will have to step up his farming or gank even more. But right now, Xcavi really cannot outtrade a Trundle. Once he hits level 6, that's going to unlock the potential where Trundle can lock down even the tankiest team member, which would be Xcavi.
That Nautilus does not want to experience those love bites from Dazai. Definitely not. Like, Garena, but Orf here might be going for a gank here in the top lane. If Dazai gets ahead,
tempting
it might be very bad for UNOR.
But I don't think Orf should invest too much time visiting.
And this lane is pushing out really fast.
Yeah, very fast. Expected from Trundle in a way. Not to mention, Orf did not take the red buff. So that's an EXP God. That's going to give Santi more room.
Man.
That's going to be his second red buff. Santi is just going to steal everything Orf has. And right now, making his second visit in the mid lane.
Really focusing here on the mid lane. They want Exidia to be impactful and have actually scaling. And they want to mitigate how Jissy can become more powerful. It seems like Orf here will be trading the red buff they could have gotten for the Wolves.
Not to mention, this is going to be in more favor of UNOR when it comes to the mid game, to the late game. This is how they play. They play it so safe, very conservative in a way that they will extend it at least in the 20-minute mark. Once that time reaches, the Adamson University has to be ready.
Yeah, once their power spike is reached, UNOR will want to go for a lot of these roams as a group. So going for a very big mid-range composition here, actually. A lot of control early game, and then they go for these team fights when they reach their power spike.
Right now in the top lane, we're seeing Scabby trying to set up for a gank, but I think he has enough mana for Death Charge. But to follow it up, I'm not pretty sure it's going to be successful.
They don't really have a lot of damage. The recall canceled there by Dazai. Rude. But that does give him a pretty juicy wave as it is being pushed into him. It gives Xcavi a little bit of time to recall and get his items. Get the Bomby Cinder to match the damage coming from Dazai as well as the clear that he will be getting once he gets more of his items.
Right now, I think the reason why the Rams picked the not to the stop, they're not going for damage really. They're going more on utility, banking in more on their ADC Legendarian to really deliver the damage they need.
It's going to be up to Exidia and Legendarian, but that means Santi can't spend too much time in the top lane because unless Dazai is so pushed in and the trade goes so badly for him, two of these champions, Ivern and Nautilus, I don't think they will deal enough damage to take down a Trundle. Here comes Cadenza, returning to bot lane after putting down some vision into jungle.
But isn't that helpful for Dazai if he keeps pushing the lane? But the fact that he's using the teleport to go back to the lane just defeats the purpose of him pushing more. I mean, that opens up for the bot lane teleport, but I don't think ADU is going to open up for that.
It might be actually a good trade-off since they realize that, okay, UNOR has 2 teleports. So if we go for a teleport play, we'll still be outnumbered. So let's just use the teleport to get back into lane, keep farming, and keep scaling up. That might be the logic here.
And looking at the CS of Orf against Santi, I guess the red buff is not going to be too impactful in delaying his level spike, seeing that he does have almost double, more than double the count on Santi.
Okay, this bot lane, just a little bit of a trade-off. Both AD carries getting below half health, but look at that.
The setup, he's been stunned up and a teleport will be called in. Xcavi, but it will be ADU still committing to the fight. Simon forcing out his flash. Same with Sadenza over the Crystallize. It would be
here comes Santi.
Exidia. Oh, relentless gangs from the UNOR Rams. Going for the flash. And Simon gives the first blood onto Exidia. And now it would be Jissy trying to salvage the fight, but forcing out Ignivia form.
And that is the first blood going to UNOR, giving it to Exidia. Seems like ADU will want to have some revenge here in the top lane with a solo kill, but oh no.
Jissy does have his flash up, but I don't think that's going to be helpful. There's the Scatter the Weak, but giving a second kill onto Exidia. He does have the first blood and a second kill. He's going to be building very nicely.
Or
right
trying
now,
to salvage the situation.
Should they do that, bro?
No, definitely not. Look at Orf.
Still going for it. I mean, they're so fast, so that would be more of a bounty goal.
Here comes Frosh though.
Oh. Nice flash for Orf. Flash in for Froshe. There is the knockoff from Froshe, and that will give him his kill and assist.
Okay, so that was so not worth it, because this gives UNOR a lot of control here in the mid lane. So they can actually, with a red buff onto Froshe.
Man.
Yeah, with Daisy too, this might mean the first turn of the game. And Jissy cannot intervene here, even when he gets here, because look at how fast they're taking it down.
Oh boy,
I'm
really excited to see how UNOR Rams will use that much gold spike onto Exidia. I mean, he really needs a lot of gold, but right now, I think that's sped up, and that's going to give ADU more of a difficult time. But
a little bit of a trade-off.
Yeah,
and it's actually huge. Jissy getting that
blue buff and red buff, and reading the summoner cooldowns of UNOR Arms.
So still, the goal is very close. With those with that last kill by Jissy actually closes it off to get a little bit of a spike. The goal, even with the first turret gold, they're only separated by 300 gold because of the lead of gold coming from Orf in terms of his clear, as well as Dazai. But oh man, GC in trouble.
Man, GC in a big trouble. He cannot make out of this. He tries to fight back with the unleashed power, and that's not gonna help. Exidia 3-1-1, just speeding up their game for UNOR.
Yeah, GC going that aggressive against Exidia, not expecting the gank from Santi.
Or feeling a bit jealous. He's not in the spotlight right now, saying that should be me.
That should be the Lee Sin doing that much work.
And here it comes, Exidia trying to duel out Orf. Here comes the Dragon Rage, but instead hits a cannon minion. Exidia just playing with Orf's feelings. That hurts bad, feels very bad. He will be taken down, and that's going to be a 4-1-1 for Exidia.
Adamson just making all of these mistakes early game, which means that the weakness of UNOR is just taken out of the picture.
Oh boy, the underdogs right now in the games showing how it is done against ADU.
And here it's going to be Xcavi losing heavily to ADU Daza in terms of the gold in the clear, but that's natural. That's natural. As long as he's not dying, as long as he's surviving, that leaves the rest of his team enough time and and relieves pressure from top lane, which allows the rest of UNOR to scale up. This might be bad though.
Dazai going in for a dive, successfully kills off Xcavi.
Has to burn his flash. He did receive turret aggro because being knocked up by the pillar actually deals like 1 damage. So it did trigger the aggro of the turret, which almost killed him, but he flashed out indeed.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about, man. I mean, first seed of the Metro West Adamson University against UNOR, who are clearly the underdogs entering this game. This is where how the group stages really mold the players in a way that they have to really not be too complacent.
And I think this is all snowball, rather this kind of momentum from UNOR is snowballing from a huge mistake bot lane. Because earlier Simone and Cadenza, it was a pretty good opportunity to get that kill because they reached the level 6 spike. But they did not consider the double teleport from UNOR.
And this is a bad news for Adamson University. Knowing that UNOR likes to play it in the late game, giving a huge lead to the mid laner, Exidia, on that Anivia, one of his pocket picks. That's going to be a huge mistake for Adamson University, and they have to pay the price. They have to give up the objectives. They lost control of the mid lane. Probably next might be the bottom lane.
And if bottom lane gets taken down, it's going to be Legendarian just wailing on Simone every time.
Closing the gap from the Blade of the Ruined King, but the Crystal Arrow will be there, forcing out Simone's heal. And that is a Summoner's Spirit, and UNOR smiling just a little bit. I mean, just like a smirk on their faces. Just
a little smirk there, because that is a huge cooldown on heal.
Good.
Which means that the next fight, the next 2v2 or 3v3 with the junglers involved in this bot lane will be heavily in favor of Legendarian, because he gets a shield from Pix, the Wild Growth, as well as his own heal.
He has a speed boost too, and not just that. Both summoners are up for Legendarian. Not to mention, the Collins cooldown is not too long. It will match the cooldown of Crystal Arrow, but burning out the heal really lowers the dueling potential. The team fight, the possibility of them winning the team fight gets lowered, knowing that the heal is not up for their ADC.
Also, Blade of Ruined King is a power spike here for UNOR.
Got exhausted.
Here comes the
Taking
Goon
so
Squad,
much
though.
turret hits will give Legendarian his first kill, and now with Sadenza. Just cornered against the wall against Daisy. That's just brutal. With UNOR getting the first double kill of the game, with ADU just confused. Terrain is not in their favor, but right now Xcavi does not have enough mana to fight back Dazai.
And the regeneration coming from the Frozen Domain and his passive, the Tribute, actually keeps him alive there. But at what cost? He was not able to teleport down bot lane because his teleport was down. And what happened there was, again, ADU all-ending the bot lane, not considering that Exidia has teleport. So even if so much pressure is on Xcavi that he can't teleport bot lane because he'll just get cancelled by the pillar, Exidia with a 5-1-1 score, 4-1-1 score when the gank happened, which means that you have to respect that. You cannot just all in like that 3v2.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, because Exidia will just teleport and get more kills. And even then, Legendarian actually picked up a kill there before the intervention of Exidia.
Yeah, that's what happens when you give a mid laner that much of a lead to 4 kills in, let's say, it was not even just 1 minute. and Excedia was able to get so many kills, so much gold, transitioning that to the Rod of the Ages, not to mention a very confident pick up on the Magi Soul Stealer. So,
man.
Adamson University, I don't know what they play. They are not respecting UNOR in a way that they should. Mid lane's down, bot lane is down, the dragon will be up. That's going to give UNOR more objective, more speed boost, and that's going to help Excedia position himself really well.
It's definitely dangerous times here for Adamson.
Oh man, this is more of a recession for Adamson University. They
Here
have
comes
to
the
wait it
squad
out.
though. They have, Daza has to back up.
And if in top lane, Legendarian, I don't think he can make it out alive. He gets picked over to the brush side, and that would be a cleanup in the top lane for Adamson University.
That's actually really good for Adamson University. But look at Daza, he's still surviving. That's a lot of members on him, which means the top lane gives Simone some gold. Actually, it's enough to match Legendarian in gold. But the biggest problem here is that Jizzy is not snowballing, and Orf has not had enough impact. He's 2-3-2, but he's not had enough impact and value from this Lee Sin yet, and he might taper off when it comes to later in the game. They are getting Rift Herald though. This might mitigate a lot of the losses they had against UNOR.
But how they use it, that matters the most.
That's what matters the most here.
Oh boy.
He might actually die here.
Oh no.
Here it comes.
Come on, smite it, boy! Yes! He just does get the Rift Herald and tags in Daisy.
Actually
Daisy!
gives it to Cadenza.
Oh man, 4 members on to Santi. Will he survive though? He does, thanks to shield. And roll boy! That's gonna be Sadenza rooted out, and Excavi going in with the depth charge.
Simon's in
onto
trouble.
Simon does have the flash and the heal, but not enough mana for the Crystal Arrow. Legendary will be picking up the kill, and that'll be a stun from the Anivia. Simon is now under the turret, but UNOR or AMS, they don't care. They're going straight for it. A double kill again.
Man, now Legendarian's 4 kills. That's 2 kills ahead of Simone. All that gold. These 2 carries, the main damage dealers, the important carries for UNOR now have 5 kills and only 1 death, and which gives them more control here in the top lane. And that response from UNOR, that little bit of movement speed from the Cloud Drake might actually have let them get that little detail where they can catch up to their field and can interrupt it.
The smallest details in this game matters in a very large scale. This is the Interconference series, the group stages. No room for small mistakes, no more amateurs.
Yeah,
this
the gold
is going to be a very strong game.
It really presses, it really pushes the teams to their backs to the wall and see who can survive the pressure.
And it's going to be Excedia with the walls, with the crystallized. I mean, we did see how Sadenza, Karma with the most mobility. What happens when you get terrain
You have to
block?
walk around it still. And yeah, the biggest thing here is that do not be deceived by the gold. Adamson is marginally ahead by 500, and that's nothing. But this isn't as equal as it seems.
Yes.
Because the gold distribution here is Excedia and Legendarian having so much gold over Simone and Jizzy. On the other hand, I think the gold distribution comes from Orf farming more, and Dazai having a 20 CS lead on top of Excavi. So that is deceiving. It's not on the most important members of the team.
That's very misleading for EDU, but right now, they do have the freedom. I mean, Infernal Drake will be live almost a bit, same as the Baron. 20-minute mark will reach, and this is where we see UNOR Rams transitioning more of an aggressive playstyle. They were very submissive in the early phase of the game. And
yeah, they were very reactive. Like every time Adamson went for a play, they just reacted with the teleport plays. Now that they're getting into their comfort zone past 20 minutes, they might go for these roams 5v5 and take out Adamson one by one.
And it's such a pain for Jizzy against Excedia. I mean, let's say you do unleash the power of Jizzy onto Excedia, he will just turn into, let's say, a hard-boiled egg. He will survive.
Yeah, I think I want to see this cheese coming from Excedia. The old Froggen build on Anivias have Medjais and then have Warmogs. Because what happens there is the Medjais gives you all the AP you need, and Warmogs gives you a ton of HP.
That's going to complement for the Rod of the Ages.
Yes, the Rod of the Ages should give this Anivia enough health to activate the passive. And once you go egg form, it matches your max health, so it also gets the Warmog's health.
That's more.
Oh, wait, they just left the Rift Herald.
This is what I was talking about. You get the Rift Herald, you risk so much, but to what extent?
Look at that. There's no damage on that turret.
Because they already chunked so much health away from the Rift Herald. He scales on maximum health damage, and that is such a huge penalty. Adamson University, they're scared. They don't want to go in onto the Rams. Well, the Penguin Authorities, they're not even contesting.
In trouble. Oh man.
Oh man, this is just bad. Dazai forcing out his flash, but gets blocked off by Exilius Small.
Yeah, this is UNOR Rams. We said earlier that they usually start grouping at 25 minutes, but because of the lead they accumulated on their carries, they can start doing it at 20.
It's like we're seeing that the timer should be switched up to 25-minute mark, knowing that how the Rams are really showing their dominance in the mid-phase of the game. Not to mention, we did see the Penguin Authorities making more of an aggressive approach, but it's all for show. I mean, they say, let's group up at mid, let's scare them off, but it's like the Rams are like
all backfire.
It's all backfire.
And it's actually scary for them to group up and start roaming together for Adamson because of all the brushes that Santi is making. So, which means that they're without as much intel as they can have with a default map.
Oh, man.
It means that they are going to get a lot more scared. Oh man, or having to flash over.
That's going to be a penalty for
the UNOR being this ahead with this composition has a lot of implications. They can roam better as 5v5, make these pickoffs as what they did to Dazai, and they can threaten all of these objectives. With this, a lot of sustained damage from the Anivia. If Exidia gets a blue buff, and then Legendarhen, he has his Blade of the Ruined King, a 22-minute Baron or somewhere near that is definitely possible if Adamson cannot respond.
I don't think the blue buff is more of a necessity anymore for Exidia. The Rod is really stacking pretty well.
Yeah.
Not to
but
mention
when it comes to clearing Baron, it will give him like infinite mana sustain to keep going.
Not to mention the objective cooldown potential from Exidia's huge lead from the early phase of the game.
Yeah.
Showing right now, and this is the small mistake Adamson made. They think that Anivia, Anivia is very weak in the early phase of the game, but give the resources, the kills, the opportunity.
Oh man. Look at those shields.
Oh
though.
man, the only power didn't even do crap against Syndra, and then not to mention it would be the shielding from the Ivern, not to mention the shield from the Lulu. I mean, just see right now, it's more of a fly.
Because Orf was not able to pressure mid lane enough for Jizzy to snowball, and because Exidia is so ahead, and Santi is also ahead, and Froshe being able to get a lot of assists from all those bot lane fights, means that all those shields are enough to mitigate the unleashed power. And Jizzy is a very sad Syndra right now.
Hey, look at this. I mean, imagine this, huh? Froshe picks up the redemption. That's more shield, right? Get a Solari just to tick Jizzy off.
Yeah, just totally.
Jizzy's gonna be like, come on, man.
Yeah, Santi already has the Solari though, but 1.5 shields from Solari, because this halved when another Solari is activated nearby. Still though.
Itemization-wise, the Rams are really responding pretty well against the Penguin Authorities, but the Inferno Drake will be up for grabs. We're seeing that the Rams are now establishing early control of vision.
Yeah, they are playing a minute ahead here. They see, okay, Inferno Drake will be coming up. Let's take away their resources bot lane. And also...
Exidia's gonna get the blue buff.
Free blue buff. It's like sharing candy with your friends. Unfortunately, Santi does not have the Candy King Ivern skin, but it will be a blue buff onto Legendarhen here because
he's not gonna care at all. Gonna spam his skills, and that's gonna spell trouble for Adamson University. This is the preparation of the Rams coming into play right now. You prepare ahead, you will have an advantage. You have the first step ahead against your enemy, and we're seeing right now Penguin Authorities might just offer a race.
Adamson, they are standing on top of a ward, which means that UNOR has the complete idea that this Baron is trying to be taken by Adamson University.
All that preparation for nothing. The Rams will have to respond right now.
Double TP.
2 teleports coming in, and that will be a race against time. Will the Penguin Authorities secure the Baron before the Rams fight back? Let's see right now. The Baron house is very low. It would be the Rams team. Adamson University gets the Baron, but can they make it out alive? No! It will be the UNOR Rams going all in and locking down Sadenza. But it would be happy though. Adamson University still got the Baron.
That was definitely a dangerous call there for Adamson. It did pay off, but can they use that Baron buff effectively? We saw that the Rift Herald usage wasn't optimal. So maybe they might have trouble using the Baron buff to continue sieging because they do have the potential of those empowered minions. But if UNOR comes to fight them, especially with this Infernal Drake onto Exidia and Legendarian, it might be very hard. UNOR might just all in them and then completely destroy them. Okay, goodbye, Simon.
Oh man. More of a pickoff right there.
Another kill for Exidia.
Where are their wards?
Seems like
0 wards in their own jungle. They're paying the huge price, but right now we're going to be seeing Adamson University pressuring the mid lane, but Xgavi will be there for the clear. He does have the Sunfire in the Titan's Wrath. This is what you just said, man. I mean, okay, you get the purple buff, you got the Rift Herald, you got the Baron buff. So what?
If UNOR though,
use it.
Yeah. But if UNOR is not able to match rotations from Adamson like earlier, they forced that kill onto Simone, but almost lost the inhibitor turret. Good thing for them that Xgavi was able to be to wall them off from the inhibitor turret. But if Exidia and Legendarian are not present at the fight, Adamson will just roll them over because they don't have enough damage. But Adamson cannot fight a straight up battle with Exidia and Legendarian present.
And I'm not sure how the Trundle can really contribute to the fight right now. We're not seeing what Orf is supposed to do. He is not even showing up his potential in the early phases of the game, and that's a huge price they are paying right now. Orf fell off. Dazai better off pushing in another lane. Not to mention, Jesse did not even perform to the expectations that his team needs. I mean, cannot even snowball on a Syndra, meaning that it's the same concept that you don't snowball on a champion who really relies on it.
With Jesse, definitely would have appreciated a lot more pressure from Orf, but this is combined with Orf's suboptimal jungle pathing and ganking, combined with how Santi is just always around the corner to shield Exidia and prevent the kill from going to Jesse. It's really their biggest problem here. So once Legendarian and Exidia group with their team, they start going for these objectives, these important objectives, ADU might just fall apart. But we're going to see, because earlier, okay, that's going to be the search and win trivia link. Just open a new tab, fill up the form completely, and if you were the first to get it correct, you will be getting that mystery gift in a few working days. So UNOR is like, because earlier they made a small mistake and focusing everything on Simone, which left them open for one push coming from Adams University. So if they're able to adapt against that and then match the rotations correctly from ADU, they definitely have a huge advantage in terms of fighting.
Yeah, not to mention, Baron is still off for Adams University, but that's what you're saying, man. I mean, seeing how Exidia is so stacked up right now, I don't think they can even...
The wave clear is just so impressive coming from that Anivia. And pushing a lane with Anivia present is gonna take forever, even with Baron buff. And now they don't have it anymore. It's gonna be the case here for Adams University. They get that spike of 2,000 gold from that Baron and the fights from it, but can they transition that into more leads and to come back from Exidia and Legendarian's lead after all of that?
And I'm pretty sure on that, I mean, they failed to use the objectives in a way that it's supposed to transition to other objectives. For Adams University, it's more like their kills are the objective.
It seems like they're playing very short-sightedly right now.
Yeah.
That they get a kill, they get a turret, but none of it actually makes an impact on their future plays. It seems like UNOR right now, being ahead in terms of how they itemize, how they play. We're going to see how all that culminates, because there has not been a big fight since that Baron. And even then, it was Adamson trying to run away. It wasn't a head-on clash. We're going to see the culmination of all of this, the rotations, the micro and macro play, once the next fight happens. Because these teams, they do want to fight.
Yeah, and it would be on to Adamson University getting 5 turrets against UNOR Rams. But it's the fact that, as you said, not transitioning to more of an objective. It's more of an early type of push they had when they had the lead. But right now, okay, let them push as much as they can. But if you cannot keep up the pressure, the Rams are going to respond, and that's going to be a hard act to follow right now. Infernal Drake, Baron, up for grabs pretty soon.
In a minute.
We're going to be seeing maybe a same scenario where they're going to decide, should we go for the Baron, should we go for the Infernal?
It's definitely going to be a Baron for both of these teams. Right now, it might be a little bit too dangerous for Santi to roam around.
Be greedy.
Might be, if they get a good team fight, they will be able to get both.
Yeah, if you can get both, don't give anyone the opportunity to get both. I mean, if you have the chance to make someone so useless in a fight, crush the team, go for it. Go
Seems
for
like
it.
UNOR going for that vision indeed to be able to do that. No vision on the actual pit just yet though. Might be too dangerous. That side of the map is dark for them, but
it's so dark.
yeah, but they do have some vision there in the top lane. So it's natural because of how the map is structured. It's natural for Adamson to have natural control over the Dragon Pit because it's facing them. On the other hand, UNOR does have wards there in the top lane because Baron Pit is facing them. We're gonna see how all of that what they do with that information though.
I guess it would be more on the Infernal Drake first.
It is the faster objective to take. It is not Mountain Drake. So the Infernal Drake is actually one of the least tankier Drakes. All fire.
Oh wow. They're going at it. They're going at it with no
Here comes Daisy.
care. One small mistake, Adamson. You have to be ready.
They have to respect that. They have to respect the front line of the Daisy combined with all the enchantments.
Steal coming in, guys.
Oh,
no, it
too
fails.
early.
And that's going to be a penalty for Orb. He kicks away Xcavi closer to Jesse. Thank you so much, Orb. And now, get out of here. Legendary is on a rampage. And now, Xcavi is in the perfect position where he wants to be. And Dazai will try and smash away. But right now, leaving Jesse, leaving the squishies for the Rams to just maul them down.
That's going to be the Baron buff. Probably going to be taken here by UNOR. Wow. Orf was very selfish in that fight.
Very selfish, but very helpful for the Rams.
Yeah, what he did there was he tried to survive by Dragon's Raging
Been
Xcavi
nerfed,
away.
Boy, it's been nerfed.
So
what are you thinking, man?
So Xcavi gets kicked away closer to the rest of the team, which makes his job a lot easier. Let's look at the replay here. The smite was way too early from
and
Orf.
Look at Orf.
Yeah.
His selfishness comes into play right now.
He tries to kick Xcavi away, but actually gets it near to Simone and Jesse, the two carries. And Orf still dies. Very, very selfish play there, which leads to this 3 kills for UNOR plus the Baron buff.
More of the pride is coming to play right now for the jungler, where the Lee Sin is supposed to be one of the most, let's see, not the dictator, let's see, more of a jungler where he has to dictate the fight, the game early on, but he failed to do that. He lost the red buff, he lost so much objectives, not to mention he did get the Rift Herald, but useless.
Yeah, Cadenza really, he's no but picked up the eye of the Rift Herald. The team didn't use it correctly. They just summoned it and left it, which meant that all of that was just free damage against Rift Herald. And once she crashed into the turret, that was just like a little bit of health. Not at all impactful.
And right now, oh boy, the Rams though, they have the Infernal Drake, they have the Baron buff. Adamson University, the Penguin Authorities, has nothing.
Yeah, they haven't really been stepping their foot down and showing their authority.
And they've been stepping their foot down, but it's a pile of dung.
And now UNOR is going to be the ones to take down these turrets, matching the push that came from ADU earlier. And with how all of these lanes are being pushed in, they do have the teleport from Exidia. Okay, so Orf does take down Xcavi with 3 members, but at what cost?
No, boy, this will be Adamson
3v5.
University fighting back. 4 members, 5 members going on to ramp for the shield, or just too much. Here comes Exidia for the flank. There is the storm, and Jesse just got nuked. Look at him.
Oh man,
he's not going anywhere. That would be a trap for the Penguin Authorities with Rams leading in so much damage, and this is where it comes into play.
Jeez Louise, that was a 3v5, but all of those shields, all of that utility is enough for Legendarian to bring out his damage, survive with his lifesteal and further shields, and then Exidia just comes down with a blizzard. Stormy weather against Adamson University gives away the first win to UNOR for this best of 2.
Congratulations for the Rams going in strong for the first game. and showing how it is done against the first seed of Metro West.
Wow.
Why is Orf so slow? What the hell was that? I mean, you got Xcavi. Okay, congratulations. You got a kill on a tank. You wasted so much resources. It's the pressure that really got to them.
And then Adamson, tunnel vision that it was 5v3.
It was
But they were too tanky, too ahead. And then here comes Exidia with a blizzard.
It's like this. It's not tunnel vision. It's like a horse, just like this. The blind size of a horse. That's what we saw on Orf.
I think it all came into this. One, Orf was not able to put out the usual pressure from a Lee Sin, which meant that Jisoo did not snowball. Dazai had the natural result of that lane, which he was ahead in terms of push, but later in the game, he wasn't as impactful as Xcavi. And then the bot lane, they overcommitted. Simone and Cadenza keep overcommitting into fights that Exidia happily teleports to.
Just goes to show from the KDA, 917 Exidia was very happy getting all those kills in the early phase of the game, and that's what happens when you give a huge lead in one of the pocket picks of the Rams. And look at the damage dealt.
That's a lot coming from Legendar, and him being able to stay in the fight for so long, despite there being a point-and-click nuke Syndra. Because of all the shields that he have and Jisoo not snowballing, it's just useless to try and kill him, which means that his DPS is just so consistent.
And this is a huge problem, knowing that a tank like Nautilus is dealing more damage against a Lee Sin where he has so much burst potential, and that is a huge mistake for Adamson University Penguin Authorities. But on the UNOR Rams, congratulations for winning the first game of match 1. Let's hope they carry on the momentum and the Penguin Authorities learn from their mistakes. That's going to be a ban maybe on the Anivia, but we'll see after a short break. We have been your Shoutcasters. I am Vulcan, and joining me was Atlas. He survived though, he does things to shield and roll mode. That's gonna be Sadenza ruled out, and Xcavi going in with the charge on
trouble.
Simon does have the flash in the heal, but not enough mana for the crystal arrow. Legendary wouldn't be able to kill, and that'll be a stun from the Anivia. Simon is now on the turret, but you know our Rams, they don't care, they're going straight for it, a double kill again. And that's gonna be a penalty for Orn. He kicks away Xcavi closer to Jesse. Thank you so much, Orm. And now, get out of here. Legendary is on a rampage. And now, Xcavi is in the perfect position where he wants to be. And Dazai will try and smash away. But right now, leaving Jesse, leaving the squishies for the ramp to just maul them down. Oh boy, the University fighting back. 4 members, failed members going up to ramp for the shield. Are just too much. Here comes Exidia for the flank. There is the storm, and Jesse just got nuked. Look at him.
Man.
He's not going anywhere. That would be a trap for the Penguin Authorities with Rams.
UNOR for this best of 2.
Congratulations for the Rams going in strong for the first game and showing how it is done against the first seed of Metro West.
Wow.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.